Lord, that the people in the community speak up and give us direction, and that's what we're here for, Lord. I ask that you watch over everybody in their travels during this holiday season, protect those that have lost their loved ones to give them strength. I ask that you watch over this meeting, guide us in your way. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I please have a roll call?
Councilmember Cooper?
Here.
Councilmember Shai?
Yes.
Councilmember Marlowe?
Here.
Mayor Gunderson?
Here.
Councilmember Jones?
Here.
All present. Next we'll move into the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to second, bring this to the floor?
So moved.
Support. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Shai?
Yes.
Mr. Lau?
Yes.
Mr. Gunderson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Agenda is presented. Pass 5-0. Next move into public comment. Anybody wishing to comment on any agenda item, please step to the podium and speak your name and address for the record. If you would, please, you'll have 3 minutes. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Next, we'll move into the consent agenda. We have 4 items on the consent agenda. Can I get a motion and support, bring this to the floor?
So moved.
Support.
Any separation? Hearing now, I'll call for the vote.
Mr. Shai?
Yes.
Mr. Lau?
Yes.
Mr. Gunderson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Consent agenda passed 5-0. Next, we'll move into council liaison reports. Gary, to start with you.
I had no meetings, although I had an opportunity to take my daughter to the museum and get a chance to make her way over there. It's great this time of year with Ralphie's Room, the Christmas Story. My daughter's daughter's first time there, and she just loved it. She can't wait to go back. So, get a chance to go back to the museum.
Thank you. Tom?
No meeting till actually next month for the planning commission.
Thank you, Dennis.
There is no meeting this month.
Thank you. Mike?
Housing Commission's Thursday night. If you want to know what's going on, Sharon's right here. She can tell us about it.
There's nothing ever going on.
Oh, no.
Last night we had a library meeting. Bills were all approved. They did have a application for the board, and that will be coming as a recommendation to City Council at our next council meeting. Bob Ware's term had expired, and he did not wish to continue on. So, other than that, Historical District Commission has no meeting in December, so that would have been coming up Thursday anyway. So, I have nothing else. We have no unfinished business. Under new business, we have 2 items. Item A is the State Construction Code Ordinance, repeal, adoption. Cream, could I?
Ordinance number 539, an ordinance to repeal City Code Section 14-26, 14-27, and 14-28 of Chapter 14, Article 2, to rescind the election to administer and enforce the state construction code.
Thank you. Getting a motion second to bring this to the floor.
So moved.
Support.
Bruce? Go for it.
I'm ready.
This is what we had talked about. This is the adoption. We had the first reading at our last meeting. This is to put us in compliance and move the city forward. So, is there any questions of Bruce on this?
I think the only thing that we talked about at the last meeting was hopefully if we can review this over this next year and possibly bring part of the program back to Belding so that people don't have to go all the way to Ionia to get some of this stuff done.
Anything else? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote.
Mr. Lau?
Yes.
Mr. Gunderson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Shy?
Yes.
Item A, State Construction Code Ordinance Repeal Adoption, passed 5-0. Next, we'll move into the 5-year fee administration plan, program plan. Nothing on that, so I guess I'll ask for a motion in a second to bring this to the floor.
Support.
Okay. Kevin, it's your turn to shine on this.
Do you want me to speak or do you
Or
want?
Sharon, or whomever. Or I'm gonna ask of everybody, so I,
Well, the standard set.
of the three, no, you have to stay.
Okay.
Sorry, you've said all day, you have to.
That's true.
Now Sharon and Mike, we're gonna let them sit there. No, go ahead.
We took the fee schedule back to the Recreation Board, and we developed what would be a 5-year plan. And we would work on our fee structure first through the pavilions and implementing the fee structure, the $20 fee structure for the day. And then I did list inside of the council packets as well, as far as every other municipality locally, and I tried to do ones of our size and the fees that they charge. And then going there forth, we would then review every other year. We review the fees that we implemented and see if they were either a benefit or detriment to what we were trying to accomplish. And we would decide whether we needed to review, approve, or retract any of those fees.
Sharon, anything to add?
The only thing I want to add is that the rec board over the years has deliberated this idea many times. And from our viewpoint, looking at operational costs, continuing maintenance, usage costs, and understanding that surrounding communities also charge fees, trying to come up with a common sense approach to really understanding that as much as we would like to see us be able to offer everything for free, that's not a reality anymore. We've got to start looking at the cost of operation. We talked about cost for water, the cost for electric, which is why we attached it to begin with pavilions, to have individuals who want to use the pavilions, at least so we can recoup some of the cost of operation for the city. Obviously, people can use the parks at no charge, but the pavilions is where we wanted to start, so.
The other thing is the rec board has always wanted to improve the recreation in this town. We've got so many great opportunities, but we feel the need, in order to do that, we can't ask city staff to do that without an additional person. So our goal really is to get to a point where we can have a rec director, in thinking out loud, if this person could be rec director half the time and do something else for the city, whether it's an assistant city manager or whatever. This is the rec board's attempt to start to fund this position so that we don't have to take money from someplace else and still be able to give back to the city.
Want to start, Kevin?
Yeah, I was the only one that had to stand, so.
Okay. You can say that.
It's because you're the young guy.
Okay.
Any questions? Dennis, anything?
Yeah, thank you guys for working on this. I think a few things to highlight is what you touched on, Mr. Hamp, that kind of gets the ball rolling in terms of developing a rec department, which is huge for our community. Takes advantage of everything we have. The second thing too, I want to touch on, I think it's right now even a question of sustainability, to sustain the facilities that we do have. And comparatively speaking, if you look at the rest of the communities, we're nowhere near what they're offering for people that come in. So I'm all behind it.
Our goal was was not to put something on and implement something that was unreachable, especially we tried to take our residents into consideration as well. Giving the pavilions away for free for so many years was a great thing that we were able to do for them, but, there again, like they were saying, to be able to sustain and to do some extra things with maybe some extra money, doing at a $20 fee all day long versus the 4-hour fee, which you'll see for most of the municipalities, was still made it incredibly affordable. So I still think that, although it will be an advantage again for our residents, I still think we will draw from other communities as well, because we still are cheaper than the local communities as well.
Jerry?
Yeah, and hopefully we can start creating a fund balance too with recreation for it too, because from what I understand, there's really nothing in that balance whatsoever, so. And I like what you did, and I think charging a fee now for the pavilions, if you're gonna use pavilions, you're gonna use the fields too, so, putting money into that and taking the money that we charge pavilions and put that back to the fields, because if they're gonna use the pavilions, they will use the other facilities too, so. I like what you did, it was great, and it's only gonna improve the quality of life that we have in the city of Belding. We have some amazing parks, and I think we really need to start establishing a fund balance to put back into the parks, so this is a great job, guys, I appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
For those of you who may have not looked at the agenda, we're talking about a $20 a day for residents, $30 a day for non-residents. And plus, the rec board came up with I think is a good 5-year plan, and to review fees and such over the next couple years. For comparison, Saranac is $25 for residents, $50 for non-residents. Cedar Springs is probably the cheapest with $5 for electric, $5 for water, but it's a first come, first serve. And the other extreme is Lowell, which is $125 for 4 hours, plus a $50 deposit. And it doesn't say whether you're gonna get the $50 deposit back or not. I suppose that's to cover any incidental damages that might happen at that point. So it could cost you even $175 a Lowell for a 4-hour stint, and ours are all-day programs. So we're still by far, other than the Cedar Springs, which is, as I said, a first come, first serve, we're well below those other cities. And as I said, it's, to me, it looks like a good 5-year plan. They'll review these fees and stuff over the next few years, and so I think it's still a bargain for the community.
The one thing I had was I was gonna mention the way Tom had talked about comparison to some of the other cities. The one question I had was the all-day rental. My thoughts are maybe that needs to be looked at as far as to define what the all-day is, because I mean, we do have restrictions within the parks as far as, time and noise-wise. That would be the only thing that I would ask, that maybe to look at that. And other than that, I don't have an issue with this. I appreciate what you guys have done. This has been talked about, as Sharon said, for several years now. Mike and Sharon have both been on boards to this over the years, so I'm glad it finally came to the city council so we could act on it. So I would entertain a motion to accept the 5-year fee administration program plan that has been presented by the board, the recreational board for the city of Belding.
I move that we accept this plan that the rec board has put forth.
Support.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Mr. Gunderson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Scheid?
Yes.
Mr. Lovell?
Yes.
The item B under new business, 5-year fee administration program plan, passed 5-0. Next, we'll move into public comment. Anybody wishing to comment on the non-agenda items, please step to the podium, name and address. If you would, for the record, please, you'll have 3 minutes. Seeing nobody fighting for the podium, I will close public comment. Next, we'll move into the city manager report. Anything, Bruce?
I have no report other than to wish you all a Merry Christmas. 1 week from Thursday? Friday. By the way, our tree lighting, I think went pretty well, all things considered. We've already put together a group to start looking at next year and doing a lot more different things than we did this year. We'll really focus on the kids. There were a ton of kids there. And so we're gonna have a reindeer there, we're gonna have Santa Claus, and so it's gonna be a nice event next year. Thanks for all of you who came and sang and enjoyed the tree.
Thank you. Council.
Remember, the tree will be 1.5 feet higher next year.
How many people were there?
I took an area and I counted 100, and I thought there were 400 to 500. So now I've had Kevin, is always on the lean side. He thought a couple hundred.
He must have been looking through his bifocals what the problem was, because there wasn't quite that many people there. So he's counting double heads,
I expected about 50 or 60. So did Kevin, and we
Yeah, it was-
were both awed by the number that came. Nice event.
Yes, it was. Next, we'll move into council comment. Dennis, start with you.
Thank you all for being here tonight. I don't have much else to say, but have a good Christmas and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mike.
I've got a couple of things. Everybody, make sure that your stuff is picked up, your houses are locked up and stuff. We've got some problems in town. There's been some break-ins, there's somebody going around that's not exactly an upright citizen, so tell your neighbors, stuff be on the watch out for anybody hanging around that's not supposed to be there. I thought the Christmas tree celebration went downtown was absolutely fabulous for a first year attempt at it. I was amazed at how many people were there. They filled up that block pretty good. For those of you that don't know, Jean Hughes' body, or her remains have been returned from Hawaii. Her kids are starting to come in town. The funeral will be, visitation will be on the 21st at Verdon's. The mass will be at St. Joe's on the 22nd. So, long-time resident. I mean, she's lived here her entire life. She was born here. The only time she left was to go on vacation once in a while. But same as like Dennis said, everybody have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and enjoy yourselves over the holidays. And we'll be back here next month, next year.
Thank you.
Good shaking your head.
Jerry?
I have a lengthy one. I attended the Right Place Economic Outlook for West Michigan with our city manager last Thursday. I just want to give you an update of how that went. A lot of people were there. The CEO, I believe, for Goodwill was there, I believe. I recognized her from our grand opening. Anyhow, the Right Place is the leading economic development organization in West Michigan. They have assisted thousands of growing companies for 30 years. In Ionia County alone, between 2011 and 2015, the Right Place has assisted starting nine new projects, creating 332 new jobs, and assisted in $140 million in capital investment. The Right Place has a regional collaboration with Kent County, Newaygo, Montcalm, and Ionia counties. A couple of things they stressed was that Michigan ranks second in agriculture and in the food industry. only second to California, which I thought was amazing. They also stressed that the foundation of economic growth for 2016 is 1, business support systems, 2, the infrastructure, roads and ports, and 3, work-ready talent, and 4, quality of life. They also stressed that manufacturing jobs are on the increase. It's not like it was 10 years ago. It's more sophisticated now, and that is on the increase, which is, I think, is great for Belding. We have a lot of them here. So, and that was about it in a nutshell. Anything I missed, Bruce?
The other thing that surprised me was, and I come from an automotive family, they indicated that in the last year, 114 new models were introduced in America. That blew me away. And that was added to the 430 existing models that we have. So there's no reason why we shouldn't all be buying new cars. There's all kinds of good stuff. The automotive industry was a very strong part of the economic growth in Michigan and Western Michigan.
What did they say, the average life, the average,
11 years.
11 years is the
The
average?
average car on the road is 11 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the longest it's been for many years.
Yeah, so I had with that, I'd also like to thank everybody associated with the tree lighting, EDA, Chamber, Third Wave Coffee, Lions Club, Gus Macker, Stalin Sleppings, Goodwill. That was a great event, and it's only going to get bigger next year, as Bruce said. Chamber of Commerce, the after hours holiday celebration at the Horse's Mouth. I'd like to thank Mike Verdun for that. Also, we have to make sure I mention George Russo. Did a great job with the guitar. His voice was a little scratched. I think he was losing his voice that night, but he did a nice job. I also just want to thank all of our committees, boards, DPW, our police department, fire department, and the city staff, and wish them all a happy holidays too. And if nobody had a chance to, the fence across the street is shorter. You guys were out, I believe DPW was out yesterday, cut down half that fence. I think it looks,
Cut it down about 4 feet.
I think it looks great, much better. So thanks for your time doing that. So I had one last thing. I understand, Jeff, I believe Jeff donated his time to put in some light bulbs over at Covered Village Mall. Some of the exit signs were missing light bulbs, so I just want to thank Jeff Hunter for taking care of that, donating his time over there. Thanks. That's all I have. Yeah. I can go more if you want.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I'd like also to thank Bruce and everybody that was involved in the tree lighting. I couldn't make it. A dear friend of ours who lives in Green Acres up to Greenville, their Christmas party was that night also, so I couldn't make it. If you haven't noticed, we're making some headway in the Vietnam wall out there with Ernie's and Bruce's work in getting it straightened around. They've got it dug, and I think they've poured some of the cement now.
It's all poured.
The cement's poured for the footings or the slab. Thank both of you for getting involved in that and getting it done. Thank the city crew for keeping the snow off the streets we've had this year. But it has helped the city in other projects. Talking to Ernie earlier about some of the things that he's been able to get done because of the weather. You've seen probably some of the things on the news where they've been able to do some road patching. I think I've seen the city patch trailer go by today patching some bad spots in the road, which normally wouldn't be able to do that, but we had the snow and ice that was out there like last year. Just to add something what Mike said about Jeannie Hughes, probably a lot of you know her from here in town. Her husband was Ron Hughes, middle school, or junior high school in those days, principal for many years, teacher. He was on the city council for a number of years. But good family. One of the boys still has a business in town, out across from the Belding Parks Plus, the old Napa store. They still work out of and run business.
Yeah, but he's never there.
No, but it's still an investment in town, so they're still, like I said, still an investment in town, and they're helping
Still
support
operating
those,
out
so.
of it,
And just thank the rec board and everybody there, Mike, Kevin, everybody on the board, getting the fee structure done and the plan for the city parks, and we can build on that over the years. And other than that, I guess wish everybody the political season's greetings and the correct way, Merry Christmas to one and all for this year, and Happy New Year. I guess that's it.
Well, I don't have much to say, because I can remove the fence, I can remove the tree lighting, I can remove thanking city staff, even though I do thank them for that. The only thing I can actually add is the Home for the Holidays was huge this year. There was more people than I have seen in the last 2 years that I know of, and possibly, I know because of the fact is it was so hard to be at the Bell anymore and try to deal with Santa Claus and trying to deal with him at the tables, that by moving it up there, it really worked out well, and they were packed this year. I don't think it actually even really died out until it was almost time for everybody to leave, so I also want to thank the rec board. This has been a long time coming, and everybody and the time they put into this. And I wish everybody Merry Christmas and safe travels for everybody, and, you know, hug those that are around you. So, other than that, I have nothing. I would ask for a motion to adjourn.